The American grocery store is an illusion. It is a fragile, just-in-time logistical miracle that relies on a constant, uninterrupted flow of diesel fuel, cheap electricity, and perfectly timed refrigeration. The moment that chain breaks, the illusion shatters. Look at any hurricane warning. Look at any localized grid failure. What do people buy? They clear out the fresh meat. They buy ground beef, chicken thighs, and steaks, and they cram them into chest freezers. Most people think buying half a cow in a deep freezer makes them prepared. That is exactly why they fail. Generators fail. Gas lines dry up. Your $800 freezer stash becomes a biohazard in 72 hours. Physics does not care about your survival plan. Once the internal temperature of that freezer rises above 40 degrees Fahrenheit, bacterial growth goes exponential. You are left with hundreds of pounds of rotting liability. The pragmatic reality is that survival requires shelf stability. It requires calories that do not demand a constant IV drip of the US electrical grid. You need protein and fat that can sit in a 90-degree closet in July and remain perfectly safe to consume. But not all shelf-stable meat is created equal. Most survival food companies prey on your anxiety. They sell you $150 buckets of freeze-dried beef crumbles that taste like salted cardboard and require boiling water to reconstitute. Boiling water requires fuel. Fuel is a finite resource in a crisis. You do not need boutique survival food. You need high-density, low-cost, calorically efficient proteins available right now at your local big box store. There are only 4 meats you actually need to stockpile. Stay until number 1 because it changes how you look at the cheapest, dustiest cans on the bottom shelf forever. Number 4. Spam. Most people laugh at spam. They think of it as a relic of the 1940s or cheap junk food. They ignore it in favor of trendy protein bars. This is an arrogant, massive miscalculation. In a genuine supply chain disruption, calories are the only currency that matters. You burn more calories under stress. You burn more calories doing manual labor. A 12-ounce can of Spam Classic contains 1,080 calories. It contains 96 grams of fat and 42 grams of protein. At roughly $3.50 a can at any major American grocery chain, you are paying about 32 cents per 100 calories. That is an unmatched return on investment. The secret to its longevity is simple chemistry and brutal thermal processing. Spam is vacuum sealed and cooked inside the can. No oxygen means no bacteria. No bacteria means no deterioration. It just sits there quietly waiting. Furthermore, it contains sodium nitrite. Most health influencers will tell you to avoid nitrites. In a grid-down scenario, you are not worried about optimal wellness. You are worried about caloric deficit and botulism. Sodium nitrite is a highly effective preservative that prevents the growth of Clostridium botulinum. It ensures the meat stays pink, safe, and stable. You do not need to cook it. It is fully processed. You can open the tin and eat it cold with a spoon. When you are sheltering in place, when the power is out, and when morale is crashing, eating a hot meal might be impossible. The fat content in Spam is crucial here. Fat contains 9 calories per gram compared to 4 calories per gram for protein. Fat provides sustained, slow-burning energy. It also provides satiety. In a crisis, the psychological toll of constant gnawing hunger makes people irrational. High-fat meats stop that mental decline. Buy the classic version, not the low sodium. Sodium is an essential electrolyte. If you are sweating and working, your body bleeds sodium. That $3.50 can replaces it instantly. Stack 20 cans under your bed. They will outlast your mortgage. Number 3. Hard-cured salami. Walk through any American supermarket. Look past the refrigerated deli counter. Look for the hanging sausages. Dry-cured salami, pepperoni, and summer sausages are marvels of ancient biotechnology. Most people assume all meat must be refrigerated. They look at a hanging log of meat at room temperature and feel suspicious. They overpay for delicate, water-pumped deli meats that turn to slime 3 days after the power goes out. Dry-cured meats rely on 2 physical barriers against decay: acidity and water activity. Lactic acid bacteria are introduced into the meat during processing. These bacteria consume the sugars and produce lactic acid, dropping the pH level of the meat below 5.3. Pathogens hate acidic environments. Simultaneously, the meat is dried. In food science, we measure the available water in a product using a metric called water activity, or AW. Pure water is 1.0. Fresh meat is about 0.99. Once you drop the water activity below 0.85, dangerous bacteria literally cannot pull enough moisture from the environment to survive. Their cell walls collapse. This means a $12 log of hard salami can sit in your pantry for months, unbothered by ambient room temperatures. You are buying dense, concentrated energy. A standard 16-ounce stick of hard salami yields roughly 1,800 calories. It is packed with protein and heavy in fats. It also requires zero preparation. You slice it with a pocket knife. The psychological edge here is palatability. Food fatigue is real. If you force yourself to eat nothing but rice and beans for a week, you will experience sensory burnout. Your brain will start rejecting the food, a phenomenon known as palatability fatigue. Hard salami offers a completely different texture, a heavy salt profile, and a complex flavor. It boosts morale. Morale keeps you rational. When buying, check the label. You are looking for products clearly marked as dry cured. Avoid anything that explicitly says keep refrigerated on the front. Buy the shrink-wrapped, rock-hard logs found in the aisles, not the soft stuff in the coolers. Number 2, canned chicken breast. If Spam and salami are your high-fat fuel sources, canned chicken is your structural baseline. Most people ignore canned chicken because they think it is bland. They pass it over for canned soups or pre-made chili. But canned soups are 70% water. You are paying a premium to store water in aluminum. At $4.99 for a 12.5-ounce can, chunk chicken breast is pure, concentrated, utilitarian protein. Under extreme physical stress, your body requires protein to repair muscle tissue. If you are surviving on cheap carbohydrates like pasta and white rice, your body will enter a negative nitrogen balance. It will begin cannibalizing your own muscle tissue to get the amino acids it needs to keep your organs functioning. You become weaker by the day. Canned chicken stops this immediately. A single large can provides over 60 grams of highly bioavailable protein. The chemistry of the retort canning process means this chicken is already boiled in its own juices. It is completely sterile. The water inside the can is not waste. It is an asset. It contains dissolved proteins and sodium. You use that water to cook your rice or rehydrate your freeze-dried vegetables. Zero waste is a survival mandate. The primary value of canned chicken is its neutrality. Spam and salami are aggressive flavors. You cannot eat them 3 times a day without burning out. Chicken breast is a blank canvas. It absorbs whatever spices, hot sauces, or bouillons you have stockpiled. It mixes seamlessly into a pot of beans, instantly upgrading a cheap carbohydrate into a complete restorative meal. It looks like normal food. It tastes like normal food. Do not underestimate the psychological power of eating something that feels normal when the world outside your window is chaotic. Buy the large 12.5-ounce cans packed in water. They stack perfectly, they have a shelf life of up to 5 years, and they provide the lean macronutrients necessary to balance the heavy fats of your other stores. Number 1. Bone-in canned pink salmon. This is the blind spot. Most people walk down the canned meat aisle, see the tall 14.75-ounce cans of pink salmon, and walk right past them. They think it looks like cat food. They know it contains skin and bones, and their modern, hyper-processed palate recoils at the thought. This aesthetic squeamishness is a massive vulnerability. Let the masses ignore it. You should clear the shelf. At roughly $3.50 a can, traditional bone-in pink salmon is the single most nutritionally complete survival food available in the American retail ecosystem. When a supply chain crisis hits, protein and calories are the immediate concerns, but lipid starvation and micronutrient depletion are the silent killers. Your brain is nearly 60% fat, heavily reliant on omega-3 fatty acids to regulate mood, manage stress, and maintain cognitive function. In a high-stress, prolonged grid-down scenario, cognitive decline leads to poor decision-making. Poor decision-making gets you killed. Canned salmon is loaded with EPA and DHA omega-3s. Then there is the calcium problem. In a prolonged crisis, fresh dairy vanishes instantly. Powdered milk is expensive and expires faster than you think. Where do you get your calcium? The bones in that can of salmon are the answer. During the extreme heat of the commercial canning process, those tiny vertebrae are subjected to high-pressure steam. The structural integrity of the bone breaks down. They become soft, chalky, and entirely edible. You just mash them right into the meat with a fork. They disappear completely into the texture, delivering a massive dose of bioavailable calcium and phosphorus directly into your system. You are getting wild-caught Alaskan protein, essential fatty acids, and critical bone-building minerals in a package that will survive a flood, a freeze, and a decade of storage. You do not need to cook it. You mix it with a little oil, maybe some stockpiled mustard or mayonnaise packets, and you have a meal that supports higher-order brain function. The fact that the general public finds it slightly unappealing is your greatest advantage. In the panicked hours before a storm, the grocery store shelves will be stripped of bread, milk, and ground beef. But those cans of bone-in pink salmon will just be sitting there, ignored by the crowd. True preparedness is not about bunker fantasies or $1,000 tactical gear. It is about understanding the physics of the world you live in and the biological realities of your own body. It is about doing the math when everyone else is reacting with emotion. The U.S. supply chain is a marvel, but it is brittle. You do not need to fear its collapse if you have already calculated the caloric alternative. You need stable fats, acidic preservation, lean base proteins, and cognitive supporting lipids. You need Spam, dry-cured salami, canned chicken, and bone-in salmon. Stop buying what the panic dictates. Start buying what the math demands. Look at your own pantry right now. If the grid went down tonight, how many days of shelf-stable, no-cook protein do you actually have on hand? Let me know your exact number in the comments.